Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning for some of you over in the far reaches of Hawaii that are maybe tuning in. My name is Zach Duchno. I'm the Executive Director of the InterTribal Agriculture Council. And today we're going to do a brief webinar on virtual food grower certification with our dear friends at the Indigenous Food and Ag Initiative at the University of Arkansas. And then we're going to go into a little bit of a COVID response update, bring you up to speed on some of the developments that we've realized in the last couple of weeks since we've talked last. And I don't know if we're going to do question or answers. If you've got a way to ask a question and Courtney can get it to us, we will sure do our best to answer it. So with that, I'm going to introduce our good friend Josiah Griffin. He comes to us by way of Hawaii, I think, originally, but we met him first when he was working for the Office of Tribal Relations over in Washington, D.C. And then he went with our organization out of D.C., well, not our organization, but with a sister organization, Native American Ag Fund, and then over to Indigenous Food and Ag Initiative, where he works now with our friends Colby, Aaron, Carly, Blake, and others, helping us put forward policy and training for Indian country food and agriculture systems all across the country. And he's going to talk to us about virtual food grower certification. So I'm going to turn it over to him now and let him do his thing. He's got some slides to share with you.
And as I am pulling up these slides, I just want to start off by saying thank you to Zach and to the InterTribal Agriculture Council for allowing us to share some of this information with you today. We've got a great opportunity. So can you see my slides?
Yes, sir.
So aloha keku. My name is Josiah Griffin. I'm a program and policy specialist with the Indigenous Food and Agriculture Initiative. And as Zach mentioned, I'm Native Hawaiian Samoan. So as we're looking at the Food Safety Modernization Act, the one question that we start to ask most broadly is, if you grow, harvest, or handle fresh fruits or vegetables, you may, and the activities that you conduct on your operation may have requirements that are actually set forth under the Food Safety Modernization Act, or FSMA, and specifically as we look to the Produce Safety Rule. So the Produce Safety Rule indicates that at least one supervisor or responsible party for farms that perform covered activities must receive a food safety training that's recognized by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. And so we have staff, I'm one of them on our team, that is trained and certified to provide that training for you free of charge. And due to new authorities and flexibilities that the Produce Safety Alliance has allowed during these times, we are now able to provide a one training available virtually for everyone. So this is really important because starting in 2020, in January of 2020, very small businesses that are defined under the FSMA Produce Safety Rule are required to start being compliant. So even if you're not required outright, many commercial markets are also requiring vendors and farms and agricultural operations to meet those FSMA requirements. So this is a great opportunity to come together to walk through what those requirements are and to be certified in that process. And to be certified as a grower and for your operation. So we are, the Indigenous Food and Agriculture Initiative was recognized by FDA as the Native American Tribal Center for Food Safety Outreach, Education, Training, and Technical Assistance. So again, we are hosting this online FSMA grower training at no cost on June 23rd through 24th in 2020 from 1 to 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time both days. And you'd have to participate for the full time both days to receive that certification. To register, we'd encourage you to visit our website that we've set aside for these purposes at www.nativefoodsafety.org. And if you'd like to learn more, if you'd like to get in contact with us, please feel free to send me an email at jwg012@uark.edu. So thank you so much again for just letting us join you and share that information.
Josiah, you got time for a couple of questions about this?
Most certainly.
So what would be an outcome of participating in this food safety training, would the producer have a certificate that they could then use to help market their product, or would they just be better versed in the practices where they could apply for a certificate?
So that is a great question. As part of this training, if you do participate throughout the entire time, you would receive a certificate showing that you've taken a certified curriculum that's recognized by FDA. So you're meeting the requirements of FSMA, but you're also able to go out to whatever commercial markets that you might have. And many of them have already taken steps to require vendors and farmers and operations to meet these requirements. And so you have a leg up where you'd be able to show them that you understand what the requirements are, and that your operation's taking those steps.
Excellent. And the food safety training that they're taking is part of the smorgasbord of policy that IFAI has put together that they could take with them to their local tribal government and actually advocate for passage of that at the tribal level so that they would be operating under tribal food safety policy. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, so we do. And so as part of our model food code work, many of the food safety components that are recognized under FSMA are incorporated. And we're happy to work with you and with tribal governments to make sure that you are walking through what some of these policies might be. And there are requirements under the produce safety rule for different statements of fact that you or your business might have to put out either on your product itself or as part of the selling process, to show whether you are qualified exempt, whether you're covered, not covered, and we'll walk through all of that information during the training.
Excellent. And really that's what a lot of this is all about. If we're gonna truly be food sovereign, we have to start to do this under our own laws and our own policies for the protection of our food supply chain and the health of our people, and to protect our producers against liabilities. A great opportunity here to get some training that's needed for the work that we're doing to protect ourselves and our customers at no cost to us.
Oh, certainly. And usually we would need to do this training in person on site. And so this is a great opportunity to bring together people who are working in Indian country from across the country, across the nation, to help learn about this information, to get certified, and to discuss what this means for your communities.
I'm just checking my phone here to see if we've got any questions. And Courtney will ping us if we do get some questions. Josiah, anything else to add?
Well, we are, as you mentioned, the Indigenous Food and Agriculture Initiative is available as a partner for any part of the operation that you're looking at, in terms of how you build out and scale your food systems, governance, and how you might be able to look at some of the components and facets that are so crucial for developing governance structures around food and agriculture, as well as just to make sure that information about food safety and the produce safety rule are brought to you in a way that's kind of meaningful to your communities. That's kind of one of our main goals in working through this information, is to make sure that it's not only culturally appropriate to the extent that we can kind of run that gamut across Indian country, but also recognizes the complexities of tribal governance that is so important to your point, and to maintaining and promoting and strengthening tribal sovereignty.
And just for the benefit of everybody that watches this or may look in at a later time, Indigenous Food and Ag Initiative at the University of Arkansas is a very closely related partner with the InterTribal Ag Council on promoting the Native Farmville Coalition and the work that was able to get 63 provisions into the last Farm Bill in 2018. That work will be ongoing, and they've got a significant amount of those type of resources on their website, www.indigenousfoodandag.com, and they've got Twitter and Facebook and Instagram as well to share their updates. Josiah, if there's nothing else, we'll move into the other part of our update. If you want to just hang out in case we get any questions for you, you're more than welcome to do that.
And will do. Thank you, Zach.
We do have a question, Josiah. So before we get into what I was going to start talking about, questions from one of our viewers out there in the country. Is there a cost for this certification that's offered by Indigenous Food and Ag Initiative?
So that is a great question. While other kind of state or other federal partners that offer this training may require a cost, it's been something that we've taken a strong look at to make sure that we are, to the extent possible, offering both the training and also the materials at no cost to the producers and the growers that sign up. We want to make this training and the information that's provided here as accessible as possible so that there aren't any barriers to making sure that you have the information you need to engage food safety and engage in a food safety compliance in the best way. Now, I do want to say in kind of talking about this training that both space and registration are limited. So I would encourage you to sign up today or tomorrow if possible to make sure that we're able to get you your information before that training on June 23rd and 24th.
Very good. And just to put a little more information to that explanation, the IAC and the Indigenous Food and Ag Initiative and a lot of these other service providers in the country do a lot of work to be able to provide these tools to our producers and our service population at no cost to them. We like to brag about our ability to find someone else's money to put where our mouth is so that we can help you get more productive and get more profitable to help improve your reservation economy. We got another question rolling in here. Kind of a two-part question. Is this a free course, and do you have to have a business established before registering? Josiah, go ahead and answer those.
Yes, so we are offering this course for free. And no, you don't need to have a business already established to participate. We understand traditionally when we're doing these trainings in person, it does take a full day. And so we've split that training up for 2 days, 4 hours a piece. And so I just want to strongly reiterate the need to make sure that you're available throughout that time to be certified.
Excellent. And to the second part of the question, do they have to have a business established before registering, or could they take this as preparation for launching a business?
You can take this as preparation. So that is a great question too.
You bet. And there's another part of the question here, separate and apart from those. As a policy specialist, how do you see COVID-19 affecting food chains that reach to native reservations?
So that is a great question. It's especially prevalent and meaningful given what many communities are facing and working through currently. The information that we've seen through both FDA and CDC has indicated that COVID-19 and SARS-CoV-2 are not food safety risks. And so I want to say that out the outright. But we've seen, especially as food is kind of working toward reaching Indian country and more remote or rural areas, that there have been some disruptions in supply chain that people are working through. And so I think that it's a very layered question. I think that it is very dependent on the community that you're working with. But as part of our ongoing work at indigenousfoodandag.com/COVID-19, we have been actively working to try to provide resources and technical assistance and other information that might be relevant to what you're facing during these times. But if you have any questions specific to that, I'm more than happy to kind of work with you and get a little bit more information so that we can make sure that I'm addressing that properly. And again, my email is jwg012@uark.edu.
Very good. And just to add a little bit more to that answer, Josiah is right on the money with that answer. But what we're finding across Indian country is that COVID-19 is just the next thing that's really exposing the fragility of our food and ag economies in Indian country. I like to use my own reservation as an example. We're here on the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation, and every year we grow 40 to 50,000 head of the best quality beef cattle in the country. We've got 2 tribal grocery stores, and we were rationing beef out of those tribal grocery stores. And a lot of the reason is because those pieces of the food infrastructure that are needed, the policy that Indigenous Food and Ag Initiative offers, and the actual facility don't occur here on our reservation. So all of our cattle leave the reservation, make a few laps around corn country, and then if we're at all lucky, they come back and serve here. So we get the food back in our grocery store. So, but it's just happenstance and luck when that happens. Okay, if there are no other questions for Josiah, he's going to stick around a little bit, and we'll go ahead and jump into the rest of the update here. You're all aware that we've had some sign-on letters and some advocacy pieces on the website for a few weeks now, and we're starting to make an impact. Some of the solutions that we've offered on behalf of producers have been implemented by the Farm Service Agency, or at least have been announced. We haven't seen the full implementation yet. And while it wasn't quite as automatic as we would have liked to have seen it, it's a great step in the right direction. The FSA is getting out ahead of the challenges that are going to come in the fall when we realize lower production markets and lower income from our production. So they're offering disaster set aside and some loan restructuring ahead of the fact. You can reach out to the IAC technical assistant staff in your region and find out more about that particular provision. And as we get more updates, we will make sure that we send them out to everybody that's in our mailing list. So if you haven't already joined our mailing list, it's a great opportunity to stay abreast of things as they develop and to get notified regularly of these webinars that are going to happen. On our website, you'll recall that there were some sign-on letters, and there were letters for producers, for consumers, for tribal leaders, and for affiliate organizations to urge Congress to take some action in the next batch of legislation specific to farmer and rancher loan relief. It's important to note that the measures taken by the FSA so far, while extremely beneficial, will only benefit those who have FSA direct loans. So you want to make sure that we keep advocating on behalf of our producers for Congress and the Secretary of Agriculture to broaden their approach so that we can include our friends and relatives that have financing with a local bank through a guaranteed loan, or maybe direct through a bank, or direct with one of our dear friends in the CDFI industry. So far, we've also been doing a survey when we're trying to get some data to support what we're seeing happening in Indian country with respect to the COVID-19 crisis. So far, we've got 234 replies, and we're offering a $200 random drawing every week for, I believe, 6 more weeks as we collect the survey. So if you fill out the survey right now, you've got a 1 in 250 chance of winning $200. So if we can get that survey number up to a critical amount, then we can really start to draw some conclusions based on the data that we gather. So if you haven't filled it out, please do. If you did fill it out anonymously, go in and fill it out again so that your name is in the queue for a potential drawing, and send us a note that you did fill it out anonymously so that we can strike that out of our data and it doesn't corrupt our data set. The sign-on letter for the Farmer and Rancher Loan Relief Fund is now at 93 national, regional, and local organizations. And we continue to urge you to call your congressmen to raise their awareness and help them understand that the efforts that we've seen so far, while very much appreciated, aren't reaching our producers yet, and there's still a lot of uncertainty out here in the countryside. Some of you have taken advantage of the opportunities offered by the Small Business Administration through the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. I think that's the right names for it, but it's been called the EIDL or EIDL program. That window is still open for sign up. That's a direct loan from the Small Business Administration. You'll get access to the money for 30 years. It's a 30-year loan, and the interest rate is 3.75%, which is far better than you're going to find at any of your local banks, both with regard to interest rate and the term of the loan. We highly encourage you to sign up. We highly encourage you to watch the webinar that our staff put together on how to sign up, and absolutely call one of our staff members if you need any assistance filling this loan application out. It's very straightforward, but the challenge that we face is that you cannot do this via paper. It's an online application. So our staff will come to you or get you on the phone and do the application for you on their computer and then walk you through the process. So far, some of these have been getting turned around in 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. We have had a handful of folks that have gotten denied or would like to take issue with the amount they were approved for. Again, we can help you through the reconsideration process. We've had some very interesting and engaging conversations with the folks over at the SBA on your behalf, and we can share those with you if you call in and visit with us about whether you were denied or whether you think the amount should be reconsidered. We can help you get through that process a little more expeditiously than if you just jump out there and try to do it yourself because of the conversations that we've been having. The Coronavirus Food Assistance Program has rolled out at the Farm Service Agency. And what that is a direct payment to the producer based either on sales of livestock from January 15th to April 15th, or on actual livestock inventory from April 16th to May 14th. The payment amounts are available on farmers.gov CFAP/livestock, and we can walk you through what your prospective payment might be for that if you would care to get in touch with the IAC. There are also some not loan calculators, but there are also some animal number calculators on that website as well. We've rolled out a series of podcasts called Resiliency through Agriculture. We've got our ongoing monthly webinars, an e-learning platform, and you can also meet your local staff member through a podcast there that's been narrated and administered by our Navajo Nation representative, Matt Dennett-Claw. Please check those out on the website. They're on the news page and on the home page of indianag.org. Next update is on the Bob Miller Scholarship. Those closed midnight, June 1st, and we're in the process of vetting and reviewing and considering those applications. We hope to have those announced by the 1st of July so our youth can start making plans for the financial assistance that we offer, and look for an announcement for when they open for the next year as well. We've got an InterTribal Food Summit that is going to be happening on June 20th. Check out their website, check out their Facebook page, InterTribal Food Summit, for the latest updates. Also, again, if you want to join our mailing list, you will automatically get updated on these opportunities. The IAC is working with some of our partners out there in Indian country, the federally recognized Tribes Extension Program, Farm Aid, Indian Land Tenure Foundation, and First Nations Development Institute, to provide an opportunity for some of our tribal 4-H participants with market livestock to sell. We'll be making an announcement here towards the end of the week about that. But if you do fit into that category, if you're a FERTEP agent that has some 4-H participants, or you're a 4-H participant with market livestock, get on the website, join the mailing list, stay up to date on the announcement, because it's going to be a very unique opportunity that we've never really offered before. Last and not least, the Prime Act is being considered again in DC. And what that would do is offer the opportunity for interstate sales, provided you had state inspection. The landscape of inspection of meat products right now, you have to have a federally inspected product if you want to sell it over that imaginary line that's between our states. The Prime Act would allow state inspected meat to move across those borders to broaden your customer base a little bit. We have been advocating very vehemently that that act should also include tribally inspected meat products. They should be allowed to travel without respect to borders as well. And as of yet, we've not got that included. However, there are some congressional memberships that are going to be looking for your support here in the next few months. So when they ask you for your support, ask them where they stand on that, and then make your decisions accordingly. But let them know that you would appreciate tribal meat inspection being added to the Prime Act. Courtney has been sharing most of the links to the topics that we're referencing in the Facebook Live comments. And we getting any other questions through that? Courtney? I'm going to guess that we're not. That's the latest that we've got for updates, folks. Please check back. My phone number is 605-222-3852. It's my personal cell. Call me anytime. My email is Zach, Z-A-C-H, @indianag.org. We welcome any questions, any comments, any concerns that you might have. And we look forward to helping you with your food and ag system reconstruction as we move into whatever this post-COVID world is going to look like. With that, I'm going to sign off now, and we'll answer any questions that come in after the fact by getting in touch with you directly. Thank you for your time. Thanks for your attention. I hope you have a great week and that June is the best month you've had so far.